Okie dokie do. When we left off last time, I had just bankrupted the economy trying to build a power plant. Well, the power plant's finished, and the economy has recovered. We have 500,000 rubles. It is now April of 1963, so a few months have passed since we last looked over things. Things are going rather well in town. A few minor updates. We've added in a new apartment block and another hospital. We had a clinic here that was being overrun, and so I demolished it and built that hospital, and then put in this bus stop, which really is overkill because there's only 3 buses coming to it, and 2 of the buses are only set to be 50% full. So they're only picking up 20 people. I don't have a vehicle at the moment that picks up 20 people, so I just got one that picks up 40 and told it to fill up halfway. And that's what is supplying workers to the power station. So, that's what's going on. The third bus, I bought a third bus to pick people up from here, to take them to work here, just to see if I could push it up above 400. And I am now pretty consistently riding the 400 number, and I don't think I'm going to get above it with a town, because I believe that there are 100 people walking to work, and that's what's the cap. If someone in the town, so let's see, what's the furthest one? So yeah, if someone in one of these tenements decides to go to work, they leave and they walk, and the whole time that they're walking, they're holding a spot at the factory. So they've called dibs the moment they leave their house, but they have to get all the way here before they can start, and in the time that they've taken to get there, and then more people are coming off a shift, and then when that person comes off a shift, somebody else is walking out from the back tenements. And like even these 2 that hold 1,000 employees, they're not that close, so it's taking them time. Like, look at it. It's a pretty steady stream of people that are walking into this place, and then they magically teleport home. So I also purchased a third oil train, and I have discovered that the infrastructure out here could use a little bit more power. It's not that surprising. It's just a single, what do they call them? Medium voltage wires. The 2.2 megawatt version. It's only a single one of those running in to power all this infrastructure. We're not getting any blinky lights, but this thing says we're low. I may install a small coal burning power plant here, and then bring in coal. Or that might be silly, because there's going to be a town built over here. So maybe I'll just upgrade the infrastructure for bringing power in. I do have $500,000 now, after all. So oil train. It shows up on the balance sheet. These trains, when they arrive with their it's only $15,000 worth of oil, but that $15,000 is $15,000 that I'm not buying now for the oil refinery. So the success of these oil trains has not encouraged me to go off and hunt new adventures mining iron or coal I have my eyes set now instead on more oil, which is just more of the same. But that's what we're going to do. So I want to avoid running over this coal mine, which I know is here. Okay. So if I just... yeah, if I beeline it right to the mouth of this river, I'm perfectly fine. So the construction office was able to reach to there, to here. So we're going to go drop it right here. Hopefully that reaches everything. This is a weird mechanic of the game. Plop down a construction yard in the middle of nowhere, purchase an excavator and a pile of bulldozers into the middle of nowhere, and then you get to do all of the free terraforming that your heart contends. That's not... yeah. To your heart's content. Go, my busy little beavers. I think I said that I wasn't going to do terraforming while you're watching, because this is super boring and super slow, and I do intend on keeping it. Do I want to drop it down? I mean, there's not really a point in keeping it that high up anymore. There's not going to be any more infrastructure off to the right of it, I don't believe. Will there be any more tough questions? Tough questions I'll answer later, because I'm not going to do terraforming on the show. So, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I am going to do the iron industry. The infrastructure is pretty much set up. We can just get right to work on it. So, or at least the iron mining aspect of it. Iron mine. There's a lot of really good iron deposits underneath my infrastructure. I should have checked that out a little more closely before I slapped all that down. But I think that's going to be enough. Oh, flattened terrain. Excavator, do your excavating. There, that covers a nice swath of that. And then we'll get another one. Drop that there. We will then not put a processing plant or a small holding spot, but a large one, or maybe two small ones. Yes, there we are. I am looking forward to mirroring. Mirroring will be great. If I can mirror the buildings that they have, they don't even need to add to anymore. But if they're not going to mirror it, it's going to be a highly modded game for the entirety of my time playing it. Alright, so what we're doing here, setting up an iron industry. These iron mines are going to require workers. which is super annoying. I don't think I want to do any of the iron processing here. I think I just want to pull it out as iron ore, dump it onto a train, and do processing at a central processing location where I will process all sorts of stuff. But I still need to deliver onto these spots. How many miners? I'll wait for that to build. Alright. So we're going to, very likely... Which one's the electric line? Now my ambitious mind. Well, that's rather painless. And the nice thing about the electric trains is that, well, the passenger ones are lightweight and have a lot of power compared to how much cargo they're carrying. So, oh come on, what's the problem here, guys? Is that super steep and I'm just not seeing it? Yeah, that's super steep and I'm just not seeing it. Well, what are we gonna do? We're gonna make a nice long one. Come on, a nice narrow angle. What's it not filtering? What's it not liking? Alright. Let's chew into this piece by piece. We're not paying for any of the terraforming. So, oh, there we go. Bring it down again. The game is a little strange about how it decides what is legal and what is not legal. Well, I mean, this inner line isn't even going to run here anymore. So we can pull that out. And this line seems to just be interfering with me placing this line, connecting to this. Come on, let me place it. Oh, come on. To there. To there. Come on. What's... Why? Please? Oh. There we go. I would much prefer that all be in a single shot, but you don't always get what you want. Alright, back to fixing the cargo line. So this is going to be where the train station is. They will take a nice electric train ride up into the mountains. And where's my mod folder? Here it is. So, I like this simple train station because it is tiny. And because the workers just magically teleport home, there's no reason to have a fancy train station for them to all gather at to return. They just get dropped off at whatever kind of hovel you build on the side of the tracks. And, I guess I could have built this with the... whatever. Where's the road? If any of this catches fire, I guess I could build a fire station out here. No. Oh, that's a weird kind of road to be building up here. Is this ever going? No. It's way too steep for cars, so they're not going to let me do it. But I don't really want it for cars. I just want it to hook up my footpaths too. And on this side as well. Because, yeah. I guess I could have flattened this area, bulldozed it all, made it look not like a mountain, made some roads, and put in a fire department. But instead, oh, that road's not long enough. That's annoying. The game logic on how it decides where and how it breaks things up, it's not always working in my favor, or how I would appreciate it to be working, shall we say. Come on. Needs to be longer than that, though. Oh, there we go. Knocking down trees. Oh, what the shit. Is that long enough now, though? No, won't connect. Ugh. I really don't have to demolish this building. Although we're just sitting here screwing around. We're almost at $1 million. Which is nice. We may have actually achieved my goal of getting to a place where we don't need to worry about the finances and can just go off and build whatever we want. But I don't actually think we're there yet. $500,000 can be spent in this game in no time at all. So, let's see where we can hook into the rail system. The way terraforming also works, it doesn't like interfering with anything that already exists. Unless you're this thing right here, and the dirt wants to come up over top of your rail lines for some reason, and you're afraid to undo what you've done because it took you so long to get it right that you're worried that it'll just magically undo itself if you try to mess with it. So you just leave the dirt there. It's not that big a deal. Oh. There it is. Ugh. It's doing that weird lumpy thing again. Bad lumpy thing. I want it smooth. Nice and smooth. You know what? As much as I like that nice subtle curve. Oh, what's it doing? Come on. Alright. See, what? Why did it ruin? Why does it ruin? Ugh. Alright. This is starting to seem unnecessary. So, can I pull this out like this? Will that make a difference? No, I've pulled it out too tall. Ooh. Oh, wow. That all came together at the end. That's nice. Won't argue with that. So, we have almost got our iron extraction industry. So, the nice thing about bumping this line up here and having these deposit facilities coming in where they are is it's now going to be super easy to load onto here. Or at least relatively easy compared to what it could have been. And for the rail line, we'll decide to build later. Nice. So, just to make sure, well within walking distance. Excellent. Now, I could put the processing facility here. I don't know how much tonnage each of these produce. 75%, 75%. Well, if I just set it up to export the ore, it doesn't matter how much they produce. I can expand my capacity in other places later on. But if these two mines produce more than a single one can handle, and I put just a single one here, then I have snookered myself. So, we're just going to put a train aggregate loading center here. Another thing to burn down at some point. Oh, come on. What's wrong with this? I think let's build it right on the track. I'm just going to build it down there. Okay, leave that one there because of all this persnickety stuff. So, we will just put the loading facility right in line after Mr. Excavator has punchified the ground a bit. Last little corner, set it down. Get the nice rails at the fast speed. And we're going to extend this out, hook that onto there, just in case there's through traffic in the future. It is possible that a train coming through that is not particularly interested in grabbing ore, but instead is coming back from having traded with NATO friends and just wants past. I guess I could put a way-by that bypassed the whole thing. How wide is this thing? Let us discover. Or I could put a waypoint and just force everybody that's coming here to go to the one. I doubt that this will ever require more than 2 trains. I guess you never know. And it's nice to put the smaller ones of these as then... Ooh. It's nice to use the smaller ones because then you don't need to terraform as much. Early mod that I hardly ever use. This has limited application, but it's coming in handy right now. Let's think. It's a little bit squirrely. I'll try it like that. works. That one works. This one works. Sold. I got lucky there. Sometimes you end up wrestling with these for a long time. Alright, so my 2 mountaintop iron mines will drop iron ore down into the 2 storage facilities, which will in turn load it into the train loading. They will then take the aggregate that they have loaded off to a processing facility that is going to be somewhere here. But that's a story for another time. So, thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time.